Thank you. So being a younger Catholic, I'm often the only Catholic in any given situation in a social setting or in the workplace, or at least the only known, identifiable, practising Catholic. And so when there's news or commentary about negative things associated with the Catholic Church, often I'm the one who's asked, what do you think about this and how does this affect you? This is your church. My experience, and I don't for one moment pretend to speak for other people here, but my experience is that I am of course angered and saddened and shocked by awful things that I hear, just as I would feel if I heard about those things happening in any community or organisation. But I find that it doesn't challenge my faith or my relationship with the church, because those elements in which we've seen such deficiencies, particular individuals, hierarchy and structure, they've never been or defined the church for me or what it means to be a Catholic to me. That's just not my experience. To me, the church and being part of the church was running around with my sisters and having biscuits and cordial after Saturday night mass while mum and dad talked to their friends. It was special events and traditions like the Easter Vigil, which was so exciting because we got to light candles and the music was really good and we got to have supper with our family friends afterwards. The church was a community of hundreds of people in which I always felt happy and comfortable and which I was always able to play a role. And it's where I ultimately found my purpose in life, to help serve that community and to help people in need. There's certainly been some great priests and bishops that I've met throughout my life, interesting and well-educated men with fantastic stories to share, often over a meal with the family. But they and their titles and any sort of hierarchy to which they belonged were never what I considered to be the church or even necessarily leadership in the church. They were people who played their part, just as I played my part as an altar server, and just as lots of other people, men and women and children, played their part in the Mass and in the rich life of the church beyond the Mass. The leaders, in my experience growing up, were the pastoral associates who did everything from getting everyone organised for Mass, to visiting the families of parishioners who died, to running family-based sacrament programs. The leaders were the mums who initiated children's liturgy in our parish and whose daughters, over time, joined them in leading children's liturgy when they reached their late teens and early 20s. The leaders were volunteers like St Vincent de Paul member Roz, who visited elderly parishioners on the weekends and took us 10-year-old young Vinnies with her. And over time, the leaders were people like us, the young Vinnies, and the members of the Vinnies Conference, who did our bit to support our community through our parish. The leaders were the married couples in their 40s and 50s who brought the Passionist family groups to our parish, which became such a big part of our family's social life and keeping us connected with our community. Leadership in the church, to me, has been the extremely dedicated parish and archdiocesan youth workers who've taken groups of teenagers and young adults to World Youth Day and then channelled those young people's enthusiasm into ongoing engagement, organising things like social justice forums and youth events. Leadership in the church has been young members of the St Vincent de Paul Society living their faith, spending their uni holidays taking disadvantaged and at-risk children on camps and holiday activities, and through that service and those interactions, finding their own vocations as teachers and advocates and social workers. Leadership in the church, to me, is and always has been people, men, women, children, teenagers, families, couples, singles, serving their community, inspired by their faith, and doing their little bit to help that community to function and to flourish. So that's why the church and the leadership of the church, that's what it's always been to me. I haven't lost faith in the church because all that good stuff that the church has always represented is still there and it's still what matters. That's my experience anyway, so thank you.